So far we kind of getting some sort of understanding about the general concept of the AutoCAD. We draw a lot of drawings, both 2D and 3D. We work on the layout setting. So now from this point, we're gonna move from AutoCAD 2D and 3D into a Revit. So if you remember, we discussed this at the beginning of the term. So when we were working on the AutoCAD 2D, we were dealing mostly with the points, lines, polygon, region, and arc, and basically both all those information has some coordination information, and x and y, and sometimes they have a constant z factor associated with that. But as we discussed, and you experience basically, you realize that they are all separate documents. So when you change something, you have to change it in other documents as well. In the AutoCAD 3D, we deal with the surface, volume. That basically means that they have a mesh of polygon with the coordination of x and y and z. And you realize that when you are changing something, for example, in your 3D model, that's not going to change the AutoCAD 2D file. Now we are going to change our gear and we're going to work on the Revit. And what we're going to do is that we're going to a little bit experience the building information modeling within the Revit interface. So, as I discussed, there are many different tools that are available, including ArchiCAD, including the Bentley, but we are using the Revit as our interface in order to work on the our BIM model. So the AutoCAD 2D and 3D has some specification. When we get to the Revit model, this time we are dealing with object and components. We are not dealing with the points, we are not dealing with the surface or volume. And that's very important. One part of that object is basically a 3D model, and it doesn't necessarily mean as a 3D model. It has a quality of 3D model, but it's an object and it's a component. So we have to define some properties for that. So for example, if you draw some sort of a wall, like a box right there, we have from the beginning of the time tell the Revit what that is basically. Is it a wall system? Is it like some sort of a random geometry that you put there? Is it like, for example, the door? So all those information embedded in that object. All the documents are going to be links. You're going to see how does that mean when we are getting to the Revit interface. And there is a that platform help us to manage all the documents and within one place, instead of, for example, when we work in the AutoCAD, we bring it from another file and then put it in the layout formats. So in the Revit, that's going to be much more easier to navigate.